For this project, we're gonna need 3 different colors of paint. You for sure are gonna need green. I chose blue and red. And I'm gonna use the celery that I just cut off the bottom of the stalk. And I'm gonna use an apple. But I'm gonna cut the apple in kind of a funny way. I'm gonna cut it like this. So I have 2 halves of an apple, so I can see the flower shape in the center. This is the core, the part you don't eat. Then I have the bottom of the celery. I have my 1, 2, 3 colors of paint. I have 1 paintbrush, and I have a white piece of paper. You can also experiment with colored sheets of paper, but white's gonna be the easiest to see. Go get your supplies, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so my helper is gonna help me, and I'm gonna first set aside my apples and my celery, as well as my red and blue paint. I'm just gonna start by using my green paint. First thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make some grass or some stems on my paper. So I'm gonna start by making some vertical lines. Good. Starting at the bottom of my paper, working my way up. You need a little more paint? I see it's getting dry here. Do you wanna dip it?
Grass?
Yeah, that's gonna be our grass. And we're gonna try to have all vertical lines. I know it's easier to paint that direction.
Well, Mom, I was gonna actually draw the super monsters by the playground in the grass.
Oh, that sounds fun. We can do that one next. Do you wanna paint that on your orange paper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here. Okay, oh, I need it for 1 more second. Now that we have the grass all done and it's all vertical lines, then we're gonna add a couple of stems. These stems are just gonna come up a little higher than the grass. And you can put on, kind of as many as you want, but you don't wanna put in too many because then it gets too crowded and you can't see anything. And if you wanna add some leaves on there, you can by just making some kind of oval shapes. Or maybe you just wanna leave straight stems, that's okay too. You decide what you want. So we're gonna let this dry just for a minute, and while we're letting this dry, I'm gonna get back my apples and my celery. If you didn't cut your apple or your celery yet, now would be a good time to do that, or ask an adult to help you. I'm also gonna need my red paint and my blue paint. I'm gonna use my red paint for my celery because when we stamp this, we're gonna dip it in the paint and stamp it. It's gonna look kind of like a rose. So I'm gonna use roses are red, and violets are blue. Okay, so we're gonna start off with doing our apples. So I'm gonna take my apple and I'm gonna hold it on the bottom. I'm gonna kind of pinch it with my finger so it doesn't slip and slide. And I'm just gonna dip it onto my blue paint. Dab, 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 dab. Then I'm gonna check it, maybe do a tester over here. And I want to make sure the whole bottom part is covered in paint. Okay? And then, if you're nervous about printing on here that it's not going to work so well, what you can do is you can take a scrap piece of paper and test it on your scrap piece of paper first. I have a little scrap piece of paper right here. Sorry. And I'm just going to press my apple, flat hand, push it down, and then I'm going to peel it up. See, I had a little too much paint on there, so I'm glad that I did a test. I might do another one.
I want to do it.
Okay, now is your turn, Dottie. Yeah. So we're going to put our flower on top of one of the stems. Which one do you want to do? This one right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and set it down on top of the stem. Oops.
Oopsies.
Yep. Looks like we don't have quite enough paint either. Didn't leave quite enough. So I'm going to put a little bit more on. And we're going to put our flower at the top of our stem.
I can do it.
Okay. There you go. Try again. Okay, you're going to set it down right here, okay, on the top of the stem. Press down. Good. And then we're going to pick it back up. Very nice. Okay. Now sometimes it won't always work out perfectly, but that's okay. Press down, peel it up, and you can see a little bit of that flower shape in there. Okay, now I'm going to try my celery. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm gonna use the red paint and the celery.
I want to do it.
Okay, let's have you dip it in there. Dip, dip, dip. Good, you don't have to push real hard. Okay, and then do a test one right here. Good, and pick it up. Good, okay, now do it on your paper. Top of one of the stems. Good, and pick it up. Very nice. Can you try another one over here? Good, and pick up. Nice. Okay, let's get a little more paint on it. Okay, so here's our finished picture. And once you get closer, you can really see the shape of a rose, and you can see the flower shape inside the blue. This would be a really good picture to make that's okay if you have messy hands. You can wash them. This would be a really good picture to make a poem with. Roses are red, violets are blue. What can you come up with? It's fun to paint with you. Dottie's trying hers on orange paper.